haven't seen any of their families for a long time. The gym, I'm not sure how comfortable I feel about it, but yeah, I want to kind of get back to that too. Thanks, guys, for answering that, and gals, that's great. I'm just going to close that down. All right. And get us started. So just a reminder, I am recording this session and we are using WebEx because some of the things that I'm going to be showing you in Teams, I can't do training Teams inside Teams. So that's why we went with WebEx so that you could get the full experience. And again, please ask questions, unmute your mics, write them in the chat. You have no expectations, so I'm going to provide you with some expectations that I want you to definitely get out of this session. So that'll be our learning objectives for this morning. But without further ado, we're going to keep on going. So for some of you that have already, I think most of you actually on the call went to the session, first one, the fundamentals. And in that session, I introduced you to the 3 C's, communicate, connect, and collaborate, right? So communicating was with the chats, connecting was definitely using our meetings, understanding that there can be pre-work, during the meeting work, and post-work, all within our team invite or that calendar invite, or within the chat that creates. So there's lots of information there. And then for collaboration, it was all about file sharing within the chats, and all of your files that you're sharing would go into that files tab. So that's going to continue on over here into the last C, which is construct. So when we think about teams and channels, we're really constructing a workspace. We're constructing a workspace for all the people that you'll be working with, whether it's on projects, whether it is an actual team that is created for the whole team that you're a part of. So it's definitely going to be constructing. That's really how you're going to look at it. And what we're going to talk about today is why you would actually build a team and channels. And then we're going to go into the system and actually create them. So we've got lots to cover this morning for sure. And here are those objectives that I was talking about. So at the end of this session, I really want you to be able to determine, what's my best approach for collaboration needs for what I need to do right now? Is it just going into chat and sharing files that way? Or do I go into my teams and create a team and channels? So it's definitely something we're going to talk about a bit. And the other one I want you'll be able to do is you're going to be able to create a private team and know where all the options are and where to navigate within that team. And then of course, alongside of that, I want you to be able to create a private and a public channel. We'll go into that and you'll do that. And then of course, we're going to file share. So getting used to where we can add and share files, whether it's in a chat, like inside Teams, or whether or not we're adding it in a calendar, etc. So there's lots of different avenues that we can do that. So we've really got a lot to cover. And what we're going to do is right now is kind of start understanding the 2 approaches to communication and collaboration with inside your teams. So like teams, like when we think about chats and calls, they're definitely more instant messaging, lightweight, simple. Maybe it's a project just between 4 people. The deliverables, it could be one file, one presentation. It's definitely more basic collaboration with fewer people. Where if you think about teams and channels, it's something that you're building because this project needs more structure. There's definitely more people that are involved. You've got lots of subgroups that you're going to be splitting people into in order to do separate work, and it's long term. This is where you're thinking about maybe a project where it's a new client, or maybe you're doing new racking within your site. There's lots of different ways that we can use our teams and channels. You can also use your teams and channels for a repository for your SOPs, your training guides, keeping it all in one space, all in this collaborative hub. So all of the communication, all of your file sharing, everything that you're doing within a project will be all in one space. No longer are we searching for anything. And so this little slide shows us the difference or the similarities between chat and teams and channels. So for who can initiate, in the task column, for a chat, anyone can start a chat with anyone, one person or many. In teams and channels, it's team owners. They're the ones that are setting up the permissions. So if you were to create a team, you would be the owner of that team. You will invite members and you will invite others to be owners. So best practice is to have 2 or 3 team owners for each team. And the reason being is for vacation, people move, promotions, or leave the organization. This is just a real easy way to transfer files from one owner to another owner. So that's what that's all about. And then who can join a chat? It's by invitation only. And honestly, teams and channels is definitely the same way. We're going to be creating private teams. And when we do that, you're going to be determining who is a part of that team. So you will be sending them an invite or adding them to the team. And I'll show you both ways there. Conversation style is very similar. For chat, it's rapid fire, instant messaging. It's persistent, meaning that it stays forever and ever and ever. And we saw that in session 1. You could be talking to someone a year ago. Now you're in a project with them. You type their name in your chat, and voila, everything pops up. All of your past conversations, files, etc. With teams and channels, that still applies. The only added bonus is the threaded piece of it. So you can actually go in and respond to individual messages, and they all stay together with the most recent at the bottom. You can expand and you can collapse based on your space. And then meetings, for chat, it's standalone, whereas in Teams, it's integrated. So when you start, well, they're both kind of the same, but when you can actually invite channels to meetings. So the folks that are a part of those channels can be included in meetings, and all the work will stay in your channel. And then when we're doing our file sharing, kind of understanding what's happening in the background. So when we are sharing a file in chat, as you'll remember, in the background, it's going to a OneDrive file and being saved in there. And for Teams and channel, it's actually being in the background, it's going into a SharePoint library. So each channel, new SharePoint library is being created. I want you to write this down just to kind of keep in mind when we are file sharing and somebody who has shared a file with you is leaving the company. After 30 days, the file no longer will exist because it will be, it's already linked to the person who shared it. So once after 30 days, you want to make sure that you either A, download it. IT is coming up with a process to speak with the managers about transferring files to another owner. So we're definitely going to have that information by the end of August and share that out to everybody. But just kind of keep in mind that 30 days, meaning when a person leaves and they've shared a file, the link is kind of lost. How are we doing so far? Are there any questions at all? Okay. So let's talk about teams and channels. So let's talk about it. And to kind of start, I'm just going to give you a little analogy or maybe two. So a team is basically your home, your house, your structure, where all the channels are your rooms. So for channels, you can, in rooms, you can have private rooms and you can have public rooms. So that's the same thing with your channels. So our teams are private, owners manage the settings and members contribute. And what's great about that is all team members have access to whatever is public. When we talk about channels, you're kind of putting things into subgroup and organizing on what people are working on. You want to make sure that it has full accessibility to the team members, but you can create private channels. And when you create private channels, you can add individual people from the larger group to have visibility to that information. They will be the only ones having visibility to the files, the chat. So it's a real great way when we think about when we work with our external partners. There sometimes is sensitive documentation that we may not want them to have access to. So that is when we would create a private channel and invite the folks that we want them to have access to. So that's what we're really talking about today and how we're going to organize our workspace and our work frame. So planning your workspace, if you're a team lead or you're going to be creating or a manager or leader, and you're going to be creating your teams, some of the things that you may want to think about, and maybe you want to gather your team together and kind of ask these questions. What is the purpose of your team? Who does or what are the team's expectations or its functions? Are there current challenges that your team's experiencing today? And are there any team measurable requirements that you want to kind of think about? So when you think about what is the purpose of your team, is it a project management team that you're creating? Your site's going through some a project and you want to organize it. You've got many players and there's lots of work to be done. Do you want to organize it with a team and have separate channels underneath it? Or is it more of a process operational, such as your training, SOPs, and it becomes a repository for all that good information that everybody has access to? So the team would be resources, and then under that, each channel could be for a role, could be operational managers, could be team leads, LCs, ICs, etc. So you can break it down that way. It depends how complex is it, right? What that functionality of that team is. And then some of the challenges that we experience right now when we're working together with others is branching conversations or no consistency in where we keep SOPs, training guides. Content version management is a little bit out of control sometimes too. And then of course, not always being on the same page, not being team aligned or in sync on projects. So what teams and channels really does is hone that all in there. If you think about it, you think about you're a new person that's joined the association, the organization, and what a great way to kind of get up to speed, get access to teams and channels, and then you can see all the conversations with the project. Now you are reading everything that everybody's doing, you're seeing all the files, and you're getting up to speed really quickly. If you imagine what we do now in terms of, yeah, we've got files in Box, we've got smart sheets over there, there's several different emails from different people with different attachments, so it gets a little muddled. So what Teams does is it really puts that all in one space, and it's really a great way to get someone who's brand new up to speed on what the expectations are and what we're working towards. So those are the sort of things that we're thinking about when we're planning our workspaces and teams. And when you start building your workspaces, you want to make sure that the people that are collaborating with you have an understanding of how you want your team to be ran, and we'll go into that. And of course, we always want to encourage best practices. And for our team owners, regular maintenance. So if there are channels that people aren't using, we can delete them, we can clean up our teams, etc. So there's definitely a lot of ways that we can do regular maintenance. So a lot of information. Talked about chats, we talked about teams, we talked about teams and channels, and some of the expectations on why we would build them or how to think about building them. Any questions out there? Don't be shy, people. Okay, I'll continue. So we're going to go into a couple of scenarios, and here I am expecting you to participate a little bit because we are going to discuss what would you do when you are building your workspace. In this scenario, would you build it for a chat-based, or would you go straight on in and create a Teams and channel workspace? So scenario A, you're collaborating on a sales pitch to a potential client. We have 5 members. They're all in different roles. They're all over the place in different time zones. The deliverables, we have 2 of them. We have a presentation and we have a statement of work, so 2 files. And in 2 months, we're going before the client to present our presentation and our statement of work. So with this scenario, would you go in and create a chat where you're using your file tab, or would you go in and create a Teams and channel workspace? Can everybody still hear me? You could put it in the chat area if you so choose. There's no wrong answers. Is everybody with me? Thank you. Yep, Teams and channels. Great, Sabrina. Okay, Mark. Excellent. Did I miss anybody? Okay, channel workspace. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, you're right. However, you could definitely have done it in a chat based. And the reason being, if you think about it, if I go over here into my chats, right, and I'm just going to go into a new chat and I'm going to just go Wonder Woman, and we're just going to do it really quickly. I could also put in here Aquaman, right? And what we can do here is we can start doing our chats. So this is where all of the discussion would be on what we're talking about. And in our files, we would have those two files. So you can also do it in here because it's manageable. It's not too large. However, Teams and Channel is a good way to go as well because you can organize it a little bit differently. So if I go over here, you can see here is my team, my Hall of Justice team, and these are all my channels. So that's really good to work in too, especially if this potential client becomes our client and the project grows. So yeah, you've already got a workspace going and you can edit it and add different channels and add different people to it. So yeah, see, no wrong answers. So we're going to go into scenario B, which is a little bit different. It's cross-departmental team that plans quarterly all hands-on community event. In this one, we've got double the contributors from multiple departments, same time zone, same location. Not that that matters anymore. And then, of course, they're using several files and applications to help plan each event. And this is the planning is each quarter is planning the next quarter. So it's definitely ongoing. So what would you guys do here? Oh, I didn't even put it on my screen, guys. There we go. What would you guys do here? This one screams to me a right answer. Yep. Thank you. Teams, channels. Yep. Yep. Excellent. For sure, right? It's more complex. We're working with apps. We're working with different files. It's a planning quarter over quarter. You want to keep that history. You want to see where you've been to where you're going. Absolutely. So good answers. This is exactly what you'd want to do. So in this little screen, you're going to see here, just focusing on the other functions, teams and channels, you can see over here, Skype and Teams, definitely more features that will definitely enhance your everyday activities. So ability to share your screen and desktop Skype Teams, yep. File transfer, yes, you could do both. Keep in mind that transfer means you're not really collaborating or co-authoring together. You're just giving it to somebody. They're going to work on it and they're going to put it back to you, or they'll put it back in Box or wherever you guys house your documentation. Whereas here, you can actually do file collaboration, work on it together at the same time or not. And of course, some of the other things, you can create a team and channel, which you can't do in Skype. Manage your notifications. Remember from our session 1, we had notifications that we would spend some time on. With teams and channels, each channel can be set up to the different notifications on how you want to receive information. And then, of course, you can use apps that persistent and threaded conversation. At mentions. At mentions are very important when we're talking about teams and channels. So if you're in a team of, let's say, 40 people, and you want somebody to do something or pay attention to what you're posting in there, you could go at their name, or you could go at the channel or at the team. That way, everybody will get notified in terms of what's happening. If you'll remember, when we talk about our notifications here, right down, or right at the top actually, at mentions, whether it's a personal mention, so at your name or channel or team mentions, they will receive it somehow. So there's no way anybody can miss any information when you're doing an at general, meaning channel, or a team. So, right, because they have to select one, whether it's banner, email, banner, or in their feed, they will receive the notification. So it's very important that using that at mentions is really important for clear communication and also to-dos. And then, of course, we have access to Meet Now feature, and you can forward an email directly into a Teams channel so that when someone does email and you still want the whole team to know it, you can actually put it inside that channel and that post. So it's a lot of good information here. So right now what I'm going to do is we're going to go into, just want to make sure, yeah. So here's a little bit of a workflow when we're talking about creating and using this. So kind of keep all of these in mind when we go into the system, right? So when you're creating a team, you're creating a team project, you can create channels by topic subgroup, and you can pin tabs and files for easy access. So we'll see that, and that's really helpful actually. You can start a chat one-on-one or one in few. Inside channels, they're called posts, but it's same thing as chat. Definitely use those at mentions. And then for meetings, you can collaborate prior, during, or post. And then, of course, sharing a document, share OneDrive in private chats. You can co-author with teams and channels. What this really does is it reduces the amount of emails going to people. Not everyone sees them, not everybody gets them, especially when people forget to reply all, etc. So it really allows to take away that time spending looking for information. And then, of course, having productive meetings. So you can do on demand or you can schedule chat, video, screen sharing, files, contacts. Chats and meetings become independent chats. So that's a really good one. And then be productive teams. So this is where you're easily sharing reference information for your team. That's the SOPs, training guides. This is a great way to onboard new members quickly. And then again, stop hunting for information all here in one collaborative hub. So I'm going to get down to it. So as you'll recall, over here on the left-hand side is our panel. You can see my notifications were all set up for my feed. In my activity feed, remember best practice is to go into your activity feed first thing. So you can see right there, I was mentioned in a team called Hall of Justice, and I was mentioned in the general tab. So I also have a chat that's there. So anyway, I'm going to go right down here to teams, and I'm going to click on my teams. So you'll notice the look and feel is pretty much the same. I'm just going to go here. Over here in the team section, I've got my pin section, which is where I pin my channels, the channels that I'm working on currently. You can pin them up at the top, just like a favorite, and work on them from there. The other section is your teams. These are the teams I have open that I'm working on. And underneath are my hidden teams. So these are the teams that I'm hiding. I'm not working on them right now, and I'm just going to clean up my quad area. Unlike chat, when you hide a chat, it goes away and then you have to use the search bar to bring it back. When you hide a team, so if I go right over here to my more options and I go hide, it goes right under here into my hidden teams. And if I want to bring it back on up to work on it, I just click on my more options, click on show, and off I go. Okay, so right now it's all here. I'm going to hide this guy because we're not working on it right now. Okay, and to hide them, to clean them up, I'm just going to go like that. So now I'm just seeing this. I got these pinned, but again, just like chats, I can go right over to more options and I can unpin them and then they just go down. And now I'm just looking at that. So that's how you can organize your quad area. And then again, over here in the middle is the virtual workspace. So where all the action happens. So you can see at the top here, oops, sorry, just give me a second to organize. Go away. So what I'll thank you. Okay. So what I have here is in my Hall of Justice team, I've got channels, general, budget, open investigations, right? So the general channel is a default channel. Every team you create, a general channel will be created by default. You can't rename it. You can't delete it. You can pin it. And you can get email addresses, etc. And you can, of course, remember I was saying at every channel, you can change the notifications. It's a good practice to keep all activities. So you will see posts, replies, and mentions, or you can do custom. And then you can do whatever you want to do here, all up to you. So that's the general channel. The budget channel is a channel that I created. And if you see that little lock icon, that means that I created it as private. So I had to invite people to it to see all the information inside that budget channel. These budgets here, or sorry, these channels here are public, meaning anybody who is a part of the team, internal or external, can see whatever is posted here, files, etc. One thing that you'll know here, I put EXT, so naming conventions, right? So for me, that means there are external folks that are a part of this team. So that just lets me know that, hey, I got to pay attention that depending on what I share, I want, and if it's sensitive, I may not want to post it in a public channel. So your naming conventions could be different. If I come down here, then some of the naming conventions I see here are PMO. So this is a PMO driven project, as is this one. And these ones, like this one's my team migration. Okay. Actually, I'm going to bring this one up because I want to show you some of that. So again, there it was, and that's the new team for team migration project. And then we have a general tab. And this one, general, is always going to be public because it's where you post and share everything for the whole team. So if I just going to go back up here to my Hall of Justice general channel and go into my virtual workspace, right at the top, you see I've got posts. So those are where all the chats are. Right? Persistent and threaded. So threaded means that I can actually respond to this particular file and say, great, right? And now it kind of stays together. So that's what threaded means. You can see here in the Files tab, there are all the files that I have shared within this particular channel, which means everybody in this team, because I'm in the General tab, and it's our channel and it's good for everyone. I'm just going to bring you here for a second. I'm going to show you this guy, Wiki. Wiki is a part of all your channels that are public. And what that really is a good area, especially in your general channel. This is where you can write your rules. This is where you can share what you want to see for the team, how to behave, any information that you want everybody to know. And if I right click on Wiki, I can actually rename it. So if I go down here and I go into here, you can see right here, this wiki was created and renamed, and it says, welcome to Metro SCG Teams environment. So that's where all the communication is going in terms of how to use Teams effectively. So this is how one of our PMs decided to use Wiki. They gave it a name and then how to use it, what they want it to do, anything that's important to them, etc. So this is something that you guys can do when you're creating your teams and channels. It's kind of, I think it's a best practice really, especially when you have many players. So for me, I just kind of made a pretend one, rules of the project, and then you can see I can add sections, title sections, write all your content. Over here, this little sandwich icon, I just open it up, and then it gives me a little bit of a menu that I can go back and forward to. You can see here, I've got more options, move up, move down, or delete these sections. You can also add different things here. So this is let's say for instance that this was really sensitive information that this group was working with. And if you really wanted them to say that, yes, I read all the rules, you could put in here a form that they would have to sign to say, yes, that they've read all the rules. So you could kind of contain that all in your channel. So this is just an Excel that I put in here. So if I go to this plus sign, this is adding tabs. So you can see, depending on what you want to add, I could add an Excel like I did. You can add Word, you can add another wiki, your planner. For those, there's a Smartsheet. So depending on what you do and how you work, you can add all those tabs. Alrighty, so lots of information there. I'm going to go right back to my posts. Actually, let me go back into files. So in files here, you can see I can expand it. So sometimes when you're working on a file, if I just click on a file, or even if someone's working on anything, you can always expand it and make it larger, and it takes up the whole space. Oh, I'm having fun with my mouse today. Okay, and then of course, you can reload that tab. And we'll get into files in a second. So now there's the lay of the land in posts, right? You can see this is brand new. So for those that took session 1, remember what's new? This was a new one. So I could actually go meet now. I could add a subject heading up here to kind of say what it's about, add meet now. And then I would be, let's do that. Can everybody see it? Meet now. And then here is where I would add who I want to meet. And again, it's all the people that are a part right here. So everybody that was a part of that particular channel, I'm meeting with all of them. So this is a really good way. And then of course what they're seeing on their end. So what Wonder Woman is seeing on her end, it is in this channel. She's seeing a block that comes out in purple. It has an icon that has a video that says, let's go, let's meet now. So you can see as well on my screen here, all of the toolbars are the same, like any other meeting. Okay, so if I wanted to add other people to this, I could, and they could join. So I'm just going to close that down and close that off. And what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to get Wonder Woman to meet now. And again, it could be a video, it could be an audio. So see, Wonder Woman's asking me to join a meeting. This is what I'm seeing on my screen. And when I join, you can see there I am. I can join now. And then we would be in a conversation. So I'm just going to close that down and hang that up. So that's one of the newer features that they have here in channels is the Meet Now. And then again, over here, my 3 dots is based on this channel. So you can see that there's different things that you can do there. Okay, so any questions before we go in and start creating? So anything that I've talked about so far, anything that you need cleared up before we start going in and creating. So I'm expecting you guys to have your Teams app open, and I'm expecting you to see what I'm doing here. I'm going to show you how to create a team and a private channel. And then my expectation is that you would do the same. And then I'm going to show you how to invite people. And then you're going to invite Wonder Woman to your team and your private channel. So any questions before I start showing you how to do that? Amazing. Okay, very simple. So right in here, I'm in my Teams view. I'm going to go right down to the bottom of my quad area where it says join or create a team. And I'm going to click on join and create a team. Everything I'm showing you right now is best practice. So I'm going to click on create a team. We'll talk about this in a minute. Create a team. And I'm going to build the team from scratch. And like I said, they're always going to be private. And there we go. So to give your team that name, remember your naming conventions. So for instance, I could be calling it, anytime I do anything, could be called training. And then I could be saying what I'm training. So let's say teams July 3rd. I can't believe it's July 31st. And then you're going to give a little description in terms of what this is. Planning teams excellence. All right, for fun. Okay, and then I'm going to go down here and click create. Boom. Yay! Do you party music in the background in my head? Okay, so next you can add team members, but I don't want you to. I want you to be able as a team owner right now to set up the permissions on how you want things to be managed when people start joining and you're adding people to your teams. So for this particular part, we're always going to skip it. Because when you start inviting people and it's not set up correctly, people will go, whoa, I'm so excited, maybe go in there, jump in and start creating some channels. And then maybe you've lost some of the parameters that you may have wanted to set. So I'm going to click on skip. And you can see right here over on my quad area, there's my new team. Training teams July 31st. And there's that beautiful general partner in crime with the team. And again, more options is always at the 3 dots. Again, we saw hide. These are your options at the team level. Manage your team. You can add a channel, add members, leave the team. You can edit a team. And when you edit a team, all you're basically being able to do is change the name or description. You're always going to keep it private. So always leave that as is, but that's what it means. So you think about our scenario A, we are now not just a potential client, but we can change it. Or for instance, startups. You have a startup business, it belongs to PMO, but guess what? Eventually, after the site's up and running, it's no longer a PMO channel, it's now an operational channel. So then we can change the name and the direction of that team and channels afterwards. So let's go back here, right? So get a link to the team so you can share the link that way. Manage tags is a great way to communicate. So if you have 40 people that are a part of your team and 3 of them are your leaders, you can actually create a tag leadership. And whenever you want to send them a message from the general tab, you can say at leadership, and only those 3 will get that message. So it's a really good way to communicate. And then of course you have the ability to delete your team. You will delete the team for everybody, even if there are other owners. But no big deal. If you delete it by accident or you need to get it back, you just contact IT, email, call, track it, and they will restore it for you. Okay, so all of these options are here for you. I'm going to actually go in and I'm going to add a channel. So right from here, I'm going to add a channel, or I could go right here and create more channels. But I'm just going to stick to this guy. Here, I'm going to stick with my budget. And again, you want to put your description in it. And then this is where the area, you are keeping it standard, or which means accessible to everybody, or if I just click on it, making it private, only accessible to a specific group within that team. So I'm going to put this one as private. Okay, and I'm going to go next. And then it's going to ask me, who do I want to add? Right now, if I put anything in there, it's going to say we don't have any matches. Why? I haven't added anybody to my team. So we're going to skip this part as well. Okay. So what I want you guys to do, actually give me 5 more minutes on here and then I'll let you loose. So back up here for my 3 dots, more options, manage team. So this is where owners will go in and settings and change all the settings, make sure they have it all up and ready. But as you can see, there are several other tabs. So right now, members, this is obviously just one member, me, and I'm the owner. I would never want to change it to a member, because if I change it to a member right now, I have nobody that would be able to change any of the settings. So keep yourself at owner until it's all set up and running. And then of course, members and guests. Members are internal associates and guests are external. Anytime you want to add an external partner to your team, we're doing it at the email level. You will type in their email. Pending requests, don't worry about that because it's private. We will be sending all the requests. Channels, eventually this is great because this will let you see all of the channels. You'll see the description for these channels. You'll see the type of channel. So this is obviously open to everybody. It's standard. And as you can see there, it's private. In this area, you can add more channels, or right over here, more dots. You can see, you can do your net channel notifications from here. Okay, so I want to have all posts. I'm going to have it only show in my feed and then save. So you can do that. Down here, you can see there's deleted. So right now, if I wanted to delete this channel, very simple, right? I go to more options and right there, delete this channel. Then they'll say, you sure? I'm going to say, yep. What's great about that though is that if you do it by accident, or it's really a good way of cleaning up, but if you ever need to see it again, you're going to make sure that, and you may have to go to the owner and say, hey, I deleted a channel. Can you restore it for me? And what they would do is they would go in and manage their teams in the channels tab, click on deleted, and you'll see there's the channel. And then they would click on restore and then click on restore. And then right here, magic, there's our budget. It's back up here. It's all good to go. So settings, this is where you should spend some time as a team owner. You can add a team picture if you want. Same, it's very simple, just like with your profile picture. Woo. My mouse is not having fun today. And we're gonna go that. Okay, so you can have a team, but this is where you're going to spend your time in your member permissions. So you can see here, enable channel creation, adding apps and more. So do you want your members to create channels? If you do, great, you can leave that check. That means they'll be creating any of their channels. Or if you're a little bit more rigid and you want this project to be handled in a certain way with certain channels, with certain groups within those channels, you can take that off, which means that they will never be able to create a channel. Would you want them to be able to delete and restore channels? Again, maybe, maybe not. Allow members to remove apps or even add or upload custom apps? Probably not. Tabs, yeah, you can allow them to do tabs. So you can see there's different things. Connectors are something like the weather app or Twitter app or stock apps. We don't want that in there. Um, Give members the option to delete their messages. Remember, we can delete messages just like we can in chat. They can undo them, but you won't be able to see them or be able to undo them. So whether or not you want them to be able to do that again is up to you. I'm going to say no. But I will give them permission to edit. So just like in chat, you click on the three dots at the message and you can re-edit something that or you can edit something that you've already sent. And that's great. So yeah, you may want to give them the option to do that. So now I'm being really restrictive. And again, that's all up to you. Guest permissions will follow suit. So if I go into guest permissions, I'm not allowing my internal partner or like my internal team members to do any channel creation, etc. So that's not going to be an option for our guests. The rest of the stuff is kind of at mentions. Yes, you want them to be able to at mention. You want them to be able to at mention their channels and give out the communication that way. So you can leave those as such. Team code. So let's say you are inviting about 40 people. Internal, external, and you may know that Outlook, or I should say Microsoft, in Outlook you have a lot of your external partners information already set up. All of that contact information did not sync in to Teams. So sometimes it's a lot easier to go into Outlook, create an email, and then put all of your team members, internal, external, and then what you would do here is you would click on generate a code and copy it. And what you would do is then you would go into your email and send an email. And then you would give them that code. And you may want to explain, hey, go into Teams, go in and create or join a team and click join a team. So right here, and they would enter that code right here to join the team. Okay. Double code, no double codes here. So going back to my teams here, going back to my manage teams and my settings. So that's your team code. Fun stuff is all about emojis. Again, right now it's set up as IT has it set up just as a default. Moderate, you can do it strict, which means that it's really youth audiences only, all up to you. Do you want them to enable stickers and memes or customize memes? All up to you. And then tags, who do you want to be able to create tags? Again, those are the at leadership. So just another way to communicate within groups. It could be the owners only, or you can have all members. Very simple, all up to you. So settings, this is where we'll spend some time. And then analytics is a really good way. Let me go actually to my Teams migration and show you some analytics. Again, manage teams. So you'll see the difference here. In this team, I am a member. There's only one owner. So I don't have the ability to go into settings to look at the settings. These are my options. I can see the members, I can see the channels, and I can see our analytics. So you can go the last 7 days or the last 30 days, and you can see how many users, how many apps are used in the background. We had 1 guest, 7 members, and then you can see some activity, some engagement, who's doing reactions, mentions, replied. So for team owners, this is something maybe to pay attention to. Are your people engaged? Are they using it the way you want them to use it? So that's all at the team level. That's all in your more options and manage teams. So you see everything as the owner. To change ownership, very simple. I wouldn't do that here as I just mentioned, but later on when you start adding people, very simple to start. So I'll show you right now. I'm going to add Wonder Woman and I'm going to add Aquaman. Okay, I'm going to add them. When you're adding people, I'm adding them at the team level. You can see right here, I can make Aquaman an owner and leave Wonder Woman as a member and close. So here you'll see that right in your okay, and you can change it at any time. He can become the member and she can become the owner. Questions before I allow you to go and create, because my expectations are for you to create a team. I want you to create a private channel, and then I want you to add Wonder Woman to your team and to your private channel. I'm going to show you how to do that. Remember, budget's private. Now that I have members to my teams, I can add members here, and I'm going to add Wonder Woman. Okay, and I'm going to add her and close. So pretty simple. It's all there. You're really going to be spending a lot of time in your more options. Questions. So create a team, create a private channel, invite Wonder Woman to your team, and invite her to your private channel. What can I do to help before you guys go? And it's we'll come back at 10 o'clock, unless everybody's ready. There's like 8 of us on here, 9 of us. So 10 minutes sound good? It's 9:50 now. No questions? You can unmute your mics and we can have a conversation, whatever you want. But I got Wonder Woman up. She's ready to go. She's ready to see some teams. Oh. Oh, who's getting married? Oh, Lois Lane. Fabulous. I see. Okay. Let me just see something here. All right. So for adding the photograph, that's great. Photography, it's public. Did you want to? I wanted you. I like how you made a couple of teams, or sorry, a couple of channels. Do you mind making a private?
Yeah, I think I screwed that up.
That's okay.
I was making the team. I've never done one before, but I was kind of I have two screens, so I was watching you,
Awesome.
and I was doing one on my own as you were doing it.
I was going to say that came up quick. I was like, whoa,
Yeah,
action.
I kind of cheated. I heard you say we were going to do it. So I'm just going to watch and keep going.
Perfect.
So how do I edit that?
You can't. So just note, yeah. So whenever, that's okay. So whenever you're making a channel, you have to make it private or public at the beginning because you can't edit that afterwards. So no big deal. Just go in and create a new private channel.
So how can you tell that which one is which?
So right now, all of your channels are public because you'll remember that if it's locked, you'll have that lock. So if it's private, you will have that locked icon beside the name of that channel. So right now, it's all public.
Where's the lock symbol? Sorry, where did I see that?
Are you in the creation of your channel?
I deleted the DJ one, and now I'm on the photographer.
Nope, you can't change it. So you have to go into and create a new channel. So when you create a new channel, right at the bottom of your description of that channel, you'll see privacy, and that's where you change it.
Okay.
So because you're watching, you got two screens. So right on my screen, I'm going to go into more options and I'm going to add a channel. This is where you change it at the privacy
there it
level.
is. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then there's no lock here. The lock actually is right here in my channels list.
There it is. Okay. So yeah, now I see it. So I'm gonna. Okay.
Perfect.
I'm going back and. Okay, I fixed it, I think.
Okay, and I see I think, Diana and Priyanka, you guys have public, you just have the general. So I'd like you to go in and create a new channel, but make it private. And there's a few of you out there too. I just want to make sure we're all good. So this is your opportunity to practice, folks. I mean, you can practice this anyway, but I want you to get the most out of this training. So give it a go.
So I tried to create DJ as my channel name again, and it says the channel name is already taken.
That's right. Because it was, right? You already created a channel. So you'll notice anything that you can't do with inside teams, it'll let you know. So yeah, so if I were to create training one, it won't allow it, right? So you have to, even though you've deleted it, because you've really not deleted it, because it's still there to restore. Ah, perfect. Super day. Excellent.
And now do I need to add you? Now I add you to that channel, correct?
You can add Wonder Woman. Yep.
All right.
And I see that. That's awesome, Diana. You got your super day. Oh, there we go. Test in. Okay, they're coming through. Good job. And then I'm going to actually, I can't, oh my gosh. Okay, and I'm sending some messages, people, and I want you to pay attention to what's happening and what kind of messages I'm sending you, okay? If I knew how to use my computer key, geez Louise. Okay, and then I can go in here and I can go, I wonder if I can. I don't think I can. Oh. Just give me a second. How's anybody else out there trying it? Got my, all right. So for the folks that did create a team and channels, what happened when I responded back to you? Did I lose you guys again? Did I go on mute? No.
I don't see anything yet, Bev. Sorry.
You responded, it went to my general box.
Yep. Oh, did I not send anything to you? So in your channel, Mark, I did send you, Mark, I did send you a message. So what you would be seeing at your activity view, you remember at the top there? So right here in your activity, you should be seeing a notification if your notifications are set up as such. You may want to go to your email because you may have it set up that it's going into your email that you're getting notifications. So Priyanka, did you see it come into your activity? Do you have it set up like that at in your activity feed?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I also sent it to Deanna. Deanna, did you see it as well?
I didn't see it in my activity, but it popped into my training team.
Perfect. Right down at the list. Right. So perfect. Because what? Yeah. And someone, are you, Kate, Dennis? Are you still having issues with Wonder Woman as a member? Did you add her to? I feel so funny. Did you add her to your actual team before adding her to the channel? And I got some others down here. That's perfect. Oh. Sabrina, awesome. So Sabrina, you got the general channel, which is great. Would you like to practice making a private channel? Okay, oh, we got another one down here. Perfect. Who created the July? Okay, Sabrina. Sabrina, did you create 2 teams? Legion of Doom. Oh, no? Okay, hold on. Okay. Oh, nice. Boy Wonder. I love it, Dennis. Thank you. Okay. Oh, great. Halam, you got some here. Perfect. So I'm just, sorry, it's taking me some time. I just want to respond to see, you can see what I'm doing is I'm actually going at general, and that's a way I can send people messages that are a part of it, right? So again, using those at mentions become really, really, really important. Any questions? Oh, trying to figure out how to change that. Oh, did you want to change it now, Mark?
Yeah, it says at the top with the settings, my overall settings.
Yeah.
It says that my channel notifications are off.
Okay, so we got the profile,
Yeah.
you went in here, notifications. So,
all right, could you do that again? Where did you go?
yeah, no, that's okay. So right up at your profile.
Oh, the profile. Okay.
Yeah, and then you can go, but I'll show you there. So go into settings
and
notifications. So this is where your at mentions should be. You can have them in your banner or email or banner or feed. So your banner comes down at the bottom right, and the feed is at the top left in the panel. And then of course an email, you get an email saying, hey, you've been invited to this team. So everybody, this is really important to spend some time with, especially in like messaging. And if you're a team owner, some of the other things that you might want to have information is team role changes. So if you have other owners and they've changed anything, so just spending some time down here.
So would you recommend, so you're saying in the only show in feed? Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
I have it as that, but if you want to have it in banner and email, or just email, or sorry, banner, email, or just banner, it's all up to you. I like seeing it over here in the panel where the activity is. I don't want it clogging up my email. And the banner only goes up and down for a bit, so I just want to make sure that I have it set up. So I like it in my feed. But again, at the channel level, channel notifications, you can do that there. So I always like to have it at all activities. So I see posts, replies, mentions, or remember you can do the customs. All new posts notify me every time there's a new post in this channel. How do you want to see it? Do you want to see it banner and feed, or only in feed? Channel mentions, only in feed. So there's different ways. So you want to spend some time in there as well as in your other notifications. So how's that? Everybody got one? And I see, keep on trying to use my mouse for my other computer. It's hilarious. Oh, I want one of those, Priyanka. I have to say, I want that little golden retriever. All right. Excellent. Any questions about that? I can see everybody got a private chat. Nice. Excellent. And just like Mark said, so if you have a channel that you've used in that team, you can't use it again, even though you've deleted it. But of course, you create a new team and you have it the same titles in your channels. That's not a problem because it belongs to a different team. So now what I want you to do is, did you guys go into settings at all? No, right? We just kind of created. What I'd like you to do is at your team level, go into more options, and I want you to go into manage teams and settings. And then I'm going to give you a couple more minutes to play with that, just to see, how you would want to set up your stuff. If you have any questions about that, then that is great too. Whoa. How's everybody doing? So again, when you are creating teams, the last thing you want to do is add the people, right? We kind of went out of sequence here. After you create your team and maybe your channels, you want to kind of go in there and make sure that you have your settings all set up before you start inviting people. And if you have a large group, again, you just go to team codes and generate. Okay, you can see I just reset that for those that are looking. Are we good to go?
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Thanks.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my general tab, and you can see here I've got posts where I'm chatting, files where I can share, and that wiki guy. So that's where you want to put those instructions, right? Rename, etc. So for posts, these are just where your conversations are. So for most of you, I believe, I'm in the general channel, and what I did is I went at general, And the reason I did that is because now that's going to be sent to everybody. So whatever I send here, again, remember their notifications, they have to do something with that mentions. They're going to receive it some way, banner, email, feed. So this is the best way to communicate. Another way to communicate, I think I was mentioning, were those tags. So I'm going to take my general away. And I'm going to come back up here to my more options and manage tags. It says create a tag. I'm going to create this called leadership. And this is going to be my communication tool, right? You may want to invite them to meetings. It's just an easy way to communicate. What happened to you? It didn't want me to create that. Okay. Oh, I typed in, oh my God, add people, not a description. Hello in there. I got to wake up here. And it's going to be Wonder Woman is going to be a part of it because it was Aquaman, the other one, right? So I'm just going to go here and create. So there's my tag. You can create as many, all tags. I'm going to close that down. So here I can go at leadership. And when I do that, please give me a call when you are done in the meeting. Okay. And then that would just go to Wonder Woman. So that's good to know, actually. So what I want you guys to do now is go into your team, go into more options and create that tag. Manage your tag, create it. Okay, you can call it leadership. And then what I want you to do is add Wonder Woman to it and send Wonder Woman a message from your general channel. Cool? Questions? There's my train. If you guys need some help, please reach out. Perfect. Add a private channel. How's it going?
Do you know if the tags are they case sensitive?
Sorry, say that again.
Is it case sensitive? So if I type the tag as capital DJ, like use caps, and but then when I typed it in
it is
conversation, it is a.
So are you in the general tab when you're doing that?
Yes.
So it doesn't matter if it's capital or not. So if you're in the general tab and you're going at DJ and that's your tag, it should work.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes the stuff isn't, but some stuff is. So no, not that one, but definitely. So yeah. Diana, great pleasure. Thank you for attending. Good luck. Sounds good. All right. Excellent. There it is. Perfect. I'm seeing them come through. Excellent. Need a song list. Love it. So that's just another way to communicate within a large group. Kind of fun, right? Now, what we're going to do now is going to go right into files. Does anybody have questions before I start going into files at all? I don't want to jump ahead if everybody's not comfortable. Silence is good too. Okay. All right. So I'm right now in the general tab, meaning anything that I do in here, everybody sees, right? So I'm going to keep in here. I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to go to budget. So you'll see budget's the same idea, except I don't have wiki. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go, there's my posts and there's my files. I'm going to click on files. I don't have any files here. So the file sharing within channels is a little bit more elaborate than it is when it is in a chat. So right from the get-go, the top bar here with all the tabs are different than what you see in chats. If I click on new, I can actually create folders. So folders can be training guides. So now I have a folder. I can open that folder and then I can start going upload. And when you upload, it opens up your computer, whatever this is, file thingy-me-bobber. And then I can go into wherever I want to go and I can take that file. Now, drag and drop works, hopefully, because sometimes it boots me out. Yay. So that was good that it didn't do that. So dragged and dropped it right there. So right there, I've got a file. Everybody can work on it. So this is my budget. I believe I invited Wonder Woman to it. This is my training July. So I'm just going to show you, and it's the same thing actually that we saw when we did any of the other training. So if I go to budget and I go to files with Wonder Woman, that's what I'm doing on my end. I'm just going to open it up so that she's in it as well. Okay, so she's opening up the folder. She's opening up. That's so funny when I'm talking like that. Okay, so I'm just going to start highlighting stuff. Okay, so Wonder Woman is in it. I'm going to go in it right now. So this really behaves the same way when you're in chat. Everything looks the same. You can see right there, Wonder Woman's added that. I can see right now that Wonder Woman is in this document. She has it open. I can go right there. I can see her in it. So multiple people can be working in it. We're in editing mode, right? I can also be reviewing it. I can add comments and conversation. We can actually have a conversation, which is really our posts. So anything that happens here will then reside in our post tab. So kind of it's all synced all together. You can also see I can open it up in a browser. So now I'm in a browser tab and I'm working on it. Wonder Woman's working on it wherever she's working on it. So I'm making my changes. Wonder Woman's making her changes. She's seeing my changes. I'm going to make more changes over here. And then you're going to see over here in a second. Oops. There she is. So she's making changes. So it doesn't matter if I'm in browser or if I'm anywhere, it all syncs. So I'm just going to close that down. Okay, and I'm going to go back into Teams. When you do that, it says all done. You can close this file now, or I can continue again in here and look at that. All of our changes are there. Wonder Woman's still working in it. All of it's the same. I'm going to say, I'm going to make a conversation. Great work. Okay, and then I'm going to use this guy to close it. So I come back here, right? I'm in my budget channel and I'm going to go into posts. And there's that file I shared. And look, there's the great work. Go back up to files. There's my folder. I'm going to open it up. And you can see I can download it, open it up in SharePoint and work on it there. You really shouldn't have to do that. Like that's just happening in the background. You can do it definitely in here. When I am in the file, I want to make sure that everybody sees this, that you can go into File and then Info, and then you can see all your version history. And what you can see is down the list here would be all the changes that were ever made to this document. You can actually restore them. You can save a copy. It's a little slow. I don't know why. I'm even hard cabled in. Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Where did that cable go? Anywho, I got to find that cable. So it would come down here and you can make those changes. Let me see if I can go back and see. Sometimes when I do it twice, it shows up. Nope, no luck. But anyways, that's your version control in here. So at the file level, if I click that file, I have other changes that happen up here in my tabs, right? So what it's saying is I clicked on that at the file level. Now I can copy the link. I can open it, right? Open it online, open it in Word, open or edit in Teams. I can make it a tab. So I'm just going to go here and click on Make a Tab. And what happened there is it moved it right up there. So what that means is, when I was opening up the file before, anytime I wanted to go back into Teams, I had to close it down or whatever. Here, I can actually go into my posts, I can go into files, and I can work in this particular file. It's a tab. So if you've got smart sheets that we're working on, that would go up here. If you've got anything that everybody's working on, you can make it a tab. Removing a tab, you just click on the down, you can rename it or remove it. I'm going to remove it. And what that means is it's just back here in your files. There it is, no biggie. I can actually pin it to the top. So what that means is, let's say you have several different files here and you're only working on one of them, you can pin it to the top and work from it. It's easy access, find it there. You can do a whole bunch of different things when it's pinned. To edit the pin, meaning to unpin it, easy breezy. Really what I want you guys to get from this training is that anytime you see 3 dots, go explore. Go, what does this do? What does that do? You can't break it, right? No one's, you can create your own team. And call it like practice, and you can do what you want in there. Nobody's invited to it, and you can just see what everything is when you're adding files, what happens when you download it, etc., etc. In channels, you can delete files. So I could actually delete this file and it will be removed from my files tab. Whereas in chat, you can only delete a file from the files tab if you sent it and you delete it from your chat. Okay, so that's kind of nice. I could hit delete. I can pin to the top, which we saw, rename. I can move. So right now I'm in my budget channel. My budget is now complete, and now I want to publish, in quotations, to the rest of the team. So all I can do here is I can go into move. I can go here, use this arrow, right? And I can put it into general. And I can click on move. Go to general. Oh, sorry, we had a problem. You did you? Okay, hold on. Well, let me see something. Yeah, see, it says it had a problem, but it really didn't. So there it is. So if I go back to budget and I go into files and I go into my training guides, oh, it copied it. Interesting. I find sometimes the reactions within here, because what should have happened is that it should have moved it. I'm going to try this again. If you go, oops, shoot. Sorry about that. Click, click, click. I'm going to come down here to the file level, 3 dots, move. I'm going to go from training guides. A file with that name already exists. I'm going to replace it. So technically it's really running into a problem. So I don't know what's happening with inside Teams, because really that file should be gone. It should be gone out of budgets, and it should be actually inside general only for everybody to see. So that's how you move it. It will work. I don't know why it's not working now. What else do I want to show you when you're inside files? So back here, you can copy, you can download. So whenever you download a file, it's going to download over here into downloads. And there it is. When you open it, it'll open up in Word, enable, and then you can save it wherever you want to save it. So that's always good for those documentations that are complete and ready to go. You can keep a copy for yourself. Okay, so that little option. So what I want to show you as well, oops, what did I do? Guys, sorry about that. I'm new to, my mouse is funny too today. There we go, taskbar, get back into Teams. All right, sorry about that. I'm going to go into general, into posts. And then of course, we can be down here and I can go into do my leadership and I can actually attach, right? I can browse Teams and channels and get a file, or I can go to my OneDrive, or I can upload it from my computer and we can share it that way. Let's go into, I'm going to double click and there it is, and I'm going to send it. Okay, so there it goes. And there it is. Okay, so that's easy as two, and everything else still applies, adding it and doing all that kind of good fun stuff. One thing I want to show you in post that's a little bit different than in chats, if you go down to your compose box and we click that best practice, right? It's clicking on that A. We have different ways now that are adding to our chat capabilities. So a new conversation, or it can be an announcement. When you do an announcement, it could be post-event dinner. I can change the color by going over here, or I can actually change the picture and upload an image, depending on what you want to do and how fancy you want to get. Okay, kind of like that. You can put a heading here. Okay, blah, 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 blah. And again, you can attach anything. You can do GIFs, memes, whatever you want down here. Okay. But what I wanted to show you as well is you can post in multiple channels. So remember, I can do this for different, depending on who's been involved, we can add different channels. So I can just add these channels and this channel and update. Okay, and there they go. So when they receive that invite, it will all go to them. I'll have to type mine now. You just can't send an attachment with a subheading. You actually have to do some writing in there. Okay, and that's what it would look like. And again, all of these still apply. I'm going to go back up here, the more dots. Right, you can do different things, turn off your notifications, save this message. So if I want to save this because I want to make sure that I have it in my calendar, I can go save this message. And then you can see up at your profile pic, I know some of you may remember from part 1, you can go here to saved, and then there it is. And I have another saved one here that took me into another channel, and it highlights what I need. So using saved is really good for to-dos or remembers to-dos, that type of stuff. What questions do you guys have? I can see there's some activity in your channel. Okay, right, everybody? Perfect. The wedding. So do you guys want to practice that? Practice adding a file to one of your channels, maybe make an announcement so that I can see it coming through with Wonder Woman. What do you guys say? We got 10 something, 10:21, give you about 5 minutes to kind of fool around, check it out, ask any questions. I'm going to populate a poll, see how we're doing. Is everybody still with me? Can I get a hello?
Hello.
Yay! I'm getting crazy over here by myself.
No.
I've been talking to myself for days.
Yeah.
And I talk fast, so I just want to make sure everybody's still good with me.
I'm giving it a try here.
I love it. Thank you very much, Mark. Can you come to all my sessions too, please? All those books.
I'll talk to Zach and see what I can do.
I love it. I'm going to say, he's going to say no. Okay. That doesn't mean I don't love everybody else out there. What am I doing? There we go. I know you're still working on it, but I did pop out a new poll. Don't get too freaked out. It is a little bit of a knowledge check, but nothing too serious. But give it a shot. Okay. Oh, perfect. What's coming through?
Okay, this might sound dumb. Where did you actually start doing the announcement? Like I must have missed that.
That's okay. So watch me just on my screen here.
Yep.
I'm going to go into my team again because I got out of there. So right here at the general, starting a new conversation, best practice is always to click on that A. Do you see the A?
Okay, yeah.
Underneath it, the format, that is your best practice. Why? Because sometimes in there you'll see people who don't do it, and like their messages are like text, right? Really short and it's not together. So here, and if you go up top to new conversations and click on that for announcements,
Got it.
and
Okay.
then you can play around in there. Perfect. Thank you for asking. You're killing me, Priyanka. Killing me. I love it. For those that can't see the polling, sometimes you have to click on the three dots on the WebEx toolbar and click on polling. Okay. Great, Mark. I see something coming through my general. There you go. Yes, she says yes. For those that can't have the joy of what I'm seeing, Mark has made a team for a wedding plan in the general announcement. Lois Lane says yes. Big party plan, COVID free. Thank you.
I've been in the office too long. I need to go home and isolate.
To get away from the crazy.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, can't imagine. This is bizarre that it's taking so long. This is not so. All right, let's see. Is anybody else going to put something through? A nice announcement? We've got some people starting the polling, so thank you. That's great. Again, not too tough, no wrong answers. It's all about learning, making sure that we're all good to go before we, because there's a lot of information that came your way today for sure. So just kind of want to make sure we kind of get the gist of it. Okay, we're almost done that. That's great. Almost done. Okay, I'm going to close the poll down. I see that there's 2 of you that are still working on it. I'm going to give you one more minute. Sorry to rush. Almost there. So just as we almost complete the poll, so today we talked about a lot, right? We talked about why we would create teams as opposed to chat. Um, you know, with chat, it's simple, less people, not a lot of files to share, where Teams more elaborative. You definitely want a lot of collaboration, so a lot of files, subgroups working on stuff together. A lot of the file sharing behaves the same between chat and channels, except with channels, obviously, there's a lot more flexibility. You can also create new. So what I didn't show you in that new part, so if I'm actually going to go into my files and new, I can actually create a new Word document. You would give it a name and you would create it, and it's like creating a new document. And here it would reside in here and live in here. I'm going to close the poll in 20 seconds. It will close, so you can see here, this is Word, but I'm in Teams, but I'm creating a new document. So it's the same thing for PowerPoint, Excel, etc., all of those other wonderful Microsoft tools. So really great way of doing that. And then of course, when I close it, oh my goodness, mouse. Polling has ended. Okay, so let me do the poll results. Okay. Can everybody see the poll results? So the teams and channels, is everybody hearing me? Because sometimes I go, okay, good.
Yeah,
I
can see it, Bev.
Okay, thank you. Teams and channels allows team members to use channels to design workspaces for each function, use threaded chat to track multiple conversations, design workspaces to include applications, connectors, etc. Yep, all of the above. Good work. Perfect. And then the second question, I'm working on presentation and want a few cross-team colleagues. What's the most efficient way, right? So we've got start a group chat and attach the file for sure. You can upload it, the file to SharePoint, but you really want people to collaborate on it. So the best way to do that is putting it in a chat, or again, if you're already working in a channel, add it to your channel. So good there. And then the last one, I can manage my channels by pinning the channel I use regularly, hiding channels I do not need or not need to work on, adjusting channel notifications, and all of the above. So yeah, you can adjust your channel notifications, but you can definitely do everything above to make it easier for you to manage your channels and the information coming through to you. Even if your channels are hidden, like mine are. So if I go back to Teams, but blah, blah, blah. If I go back, oh my goodness. Go back into my teams and I go into teams. If even these hidden teams, I will still get notifications. If my notifications are set up that I receive them, even though they're hidden, I will still see everything I need to see. So even though they're hidden, you'll still get all that information. So good work, everybody. I appreciate everybody working with me today. I really liked the feedback and the conversation, and I thank you all for attending. Again, there are videos on our self-serve portal that you can link to for today. So there's more information. You can go at your own speed, practice it. Also, there will be a survey being sent out at the end of the day today, or maybe even later tonight. I do appreciate everybody's comments. I do try to take everybody's input and make the sessions better. Unfortunately, better for the next people, but it still benefits everybody as a whole. That's amazing. Thank you for Mark. Thank you very much, and have your dropping off. Everybody else can leave as well. Again, thank you. Have a lovely long weekend. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll definitely talk to you guys again. Reach out anytime you need anything.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks. Have a good one, eh?
You too.
Thanks. Are you guys done?
Yes,
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
You take it easy then. You go relax.
I know.
I will see you later, Priyanka. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.